Welcome to Move Forward Bravely. We are producing some positive stories. Thank you for listening. I am your supporter, Move Forward Bravely. Let us be silent in the stories and the music together and face the future bravely. This is a story about treasure. It is not only a treasure hunting adventure, but also a story about wisdom, courage, and inheritance. George Williams was an experienced archaeologist specializing in ancient civilizations and lost treasures. His office was filled with various books and documents, with world maps and photos of ancient ruins hanging on the walls. George had always dreamed of discovering the legendary treasure map, not only to further his career, but also to unravel many historical mysteries. One evening, George received a letter from a distant friend, mentioning an ancient library said to contain many undiscovered valuable documents. Hope sparked in George's heart, and he decided to visit this library. Early the next morning, George set off for the ancient library located in a remote town in Europe. This library had been around for centuries, with its books and scrolls recording many unknown ancient stories and legends. Upon arrival, George eagerly began to peruse the library's collection. After several days of diligent searching, George finally found an old book in a long-forgotten corner. The book looked ancient, its cover covered in dust, but faint symbols and patterns were visible. Carefully, George opened the book, and his eyes lit up. Between the pages was a seemingly ancient parchment. Gently unfolding the parchment, George discovered it was a detailed map. The map featured various intricate topographical markings and some ancient symbols he recognized from his previous studies, representing the legendary lost civilization. At the center of the map was a prominent red X, which seemed to indicate the location of a treasure. George was ecstatic. He meticulously studied every detail on the map and found that it pointed to an unknown island. This island was not marked on modern maps, meaning it was likely an undiscovered place. George realized that this map might be the key to the legendary mysterious treasure. George immediately decided to assemble his expedition team to venture to this unknown island. He knew this adventure would be fraught with challenges and dangers, but it might also be the most significant discovery of his career. With the lost map in hand, George returned to his office to plan the expedition in detail. He needed to prepare ample supplies, recruit brave teammates, devise a comprehensive plan, and ensure that every detail of the operation was flawless. In the following days, George busily prepared everything, fully aware of the enormous responsibility and expectations he bore. His heart was filled with excitement and anticipation, knowing that an incredible adventure awaited him, along with the endless treasure and ancient secrets hidden on that mysterious island. George was about to embark on his adventure to the unknown island, aiming to unravel the mysteries of ancient civilizations and find the legendary mysterious treasure. After discovering the lost treasure map, George Williams felt revitalized. He quickly formulated a detailed plan and began preparing for the expedition. He knew that, to successfully find this mysterious treasure, he needed an experienced and capable expedition team. First, George contacted his old friend and adventure partner, Carter Thompson. Carter was an excellent navigator with extensive knowledge of global terrains and climates. Upon hearing about George's discovery, he eagerly agreed to join the expedition. Next, George found Maria Rodriguez, a talented linguist and expert in ancient civilizations. She had deep expertise in various ancient scripts and symbols, able to decipher the ancient markings and symbols on the map. He was also very enthusiastic about the adventure, eager to uncover the secrets behind the map. Lastly, George invited Jack Hudson, an experienced wilderness survival expert. Jack had completed numerous expeditions in extreme environments and had a wealth of survival skills. His participation provided the expedition team with additional security. With the team assembled, George began preparing the necessary supplies. They needed enough food and water, professional expedition equipment, medical supplies, communication devices, and various emergency tools. George also prepared a set of high-tech positioning devices for everyone to ensure precise location tracking on the island. Before departure, George gathered everyone in his office for a detailed planning meeting. He spread the map on the table and explained their route and objectives in detail. The team members listened attentively, offering their suggestions and questions. Carter emphasized the importance of the sailing route and weather forecasts to ensure they could safely reach the island. Maria further interpreted the ancient symbols on the map, believing they might be crucial to finding the treasure. Jack reminded everyone of the basic principles of wilderness survival, ensuring they could remain calm and rational in dangerous environments. After the meeting, everyone agreed to depart early the next morning. At night, they made thorough preparations, checking their equipment and supplies to ensure nothing was overlooked. Early the next morning, the team gathered at the port, ready to board their expedition ship. The ship was equipped with advanced navigation systems and sufficient fuel for long voyages. George stood on the deck, watching the receding coastline, with a heart full of anticipation and excitement. As the ship sailed into the vast ocean, the team members busied themselves with final preparations. Carter focused on the navigation instruments to ensure the route was precise. Maria continued studying the symbols on the map, hoping to find more clues. Jack inspected all the equipment on the ship, ensuring everything was in top condition. After several days at sea, they finally approached the unknown island marked on the map. From a distance, the island was covered in dense jungle, with some ancient ruins faintly visible. This mysterious island seemed to be slumbering in the river of time, awaiting the arrival of the explorers. George gazed at the island, filled with infinite anticipation and curiosity. He knew that the real adventure was just beginning, and ahead lay unknown challenges and endless treasures. The expedition team was about to land on the mysterious island and begin their thrilling journey to find the treasure. As the expedition ship approached the mysterious island, the cabin was filled with tension and excitement. George, Carter, Maria, and Jack boarded a small boat, rowing towards the coast hidden within the dense jungle. The calls of seabirds and the crashing waves created an atmosphere of venturing into an unknown world, far from civilization. Upon setting foot on the island, they felt an ancient and mysterious aura. The vegetation was unusually dense, with little evidence of human presence. Holding the map, George led the crew a faint path. Maria carefully observed their surroundings, hoping to find any clues related to ancient civilizations. Soon, they discovered an old stone monument covered in strange symbols and patterns. Maria immediately began deciphering the ancient inscriptions. After some study, she realized that these symbols were a guide, indicating their next direction. These symbols point to a place called the Temple of the Sun, Maria explained. It might be the key location we're looking for. The team continued along the path, delving deeper into the island. As they progressed, the surroundings grew increasingly peculiar. Tall stone pillars, partially buried statues, and various exotic plants and animals made them feel as if they were in another world. Finally, they arrived at an open area where a magnificent ruin stood before them. It was the Temple of the Sun that Maria had mentioned, constructed from massive stone blocks. The temple, despite centuries of weathering, remained majestic. The giant stone lion statues guarded the entrance, as if protecting the secrets within. The explorers cautiously entered the temple, awed by its interior. Tall columns adorned with exquisite reliefs depicted scenes of ancient life and rituals. At the temple's center stood a massive altar with an ancient chest, surrounded by intricate mechanisms and traps. "It looks like we found the crucial spot," George whispered. "But we must be careful. There could be traps everywhere." Jack moved ahead, meticulously inspecting the mechanisms around the altar. Using his expertise, he carefully deactivated the complex devices. Meanwhile, Maria continued studying the reliefs, hoping to uncover more clues about the treasure. After much effort, Jack successfully deactivated the final mechanism, allowing them to open the ancient chest. George gingerly lifted the lid, only to find no glittering gems or gold but an ancient manuscript and a mysterious stone tablet. Maria picked up the manuscript, flipping through its pages, and discovered it was a detailed record of an ancient civilization. The manuscript described the origins, development, and achievements of this lost civilization. The stone tablet was covered in complex symbols and patterns, resembling a map or guide. His manuscript and tablet are more valuable than any gold or jewels, George exclaimed excitedly. They document the entire history of a lost civilization. However, before they could continue their research, a low rumbling sound came from outside the temple. The explorers quickly packed up the manuscript and tablet and stepped out to find the ground trembling slightly. Something seemed to be approaching from the distant jungle. "It seems we've not only found the treasure," Carter remarked, "but also triggered some ancient guardians." Realizing that discovering the treasure was just the first step, the team knew greater challenges lay ahead. Determined to uncover all the islands and the ancient civilization's secrets, they prepared to face the impending trials, resolutely heading deeper into the island. The expedition had unveiled the secrets of the Temple of the Sun, finding the ancient manuscript and tablet. But they also felt a foreboding sense of danger, knowing that the island's secrets extended far beyond this. The true adventure was just beginning. After leaving the Temple of the Sun, the expedition ventured deeper into the island's jungle. George, leading the team cautiously, felt a mix of apprehension and anticipation about the unknown challenges ahead. The island was shrouded in a mysterious and tense atmosphere, as if every plant and stone were watching them. Soon, they encountered a swampy area. The ground looked perilous and soft. A misstep could lead to sinking. Carter used detection tools to assess the ground stability. After some measurements, he identified relatively safe spots to step on, marking each with branches. "Follow my steps carefully," Carter warned. "This place is extremely dangerous. Do not misstep." The team followed Carter's directions, meticulously, cautiously crossing the swamp. Despite their careful steps, Rio accidentally stepped on a soft patch, sinking quickly. George and Jack immediately reached out and pulled her back. His close call heightened their vigilance. After crossing the swamp, they continued onward. Soon, they found an old stone bridge spanning the rushing river. The bridge, weathered and cracked in places, seemed ready to collapse at any moment. George decided to send Jack to scout ahead. "I'll test the bridge's stability," Jack said, carefully stepping onto it. The bridge creaked ominously, but held as he made it across. Seeing Jack safe, the others cautiously followed. Though the bridge wobbled, they all safely crossed the river. Beyond the river, they arrived at a large cave entrance. The entrance bore ancient symbols which Mia studied closely, discovering a warning the cave held dangers, and only the wise and brave could pass. Inside, the cave was dark and damp, with eerie sounds echoing from within. "It seems we have to explore inside," George said. "Stay close and be careful not to get separated." They lit torches and entered the cave. The narrow, winding passageways were adorned with ancient carvings and runes. Suddenly, a sharp screech echoed ahead, and a swarm of bats flew out, forcing the explorers to dodge. The torchlight flickered wildly in the chaos. After the bats passed, they continued forward, entering a spacious cavern. In the center stood, with a peculiar mechanism before it, appearing to be some ancient trial. George approached, examining the device. "This looks like a series of puzzles we need to solve," George said. Each puzzle solved activates part of the mechanism until it fully opens. The team divided tasks, studying the carvings and runes around the statue. After careful consideration, they realized these runes formed an ancient language that needed decoding to solve the puzzles. Maria and Jack worked together to decode the runes, solving the first puzzle. The mechanism emitted a low click. The subsequent puzzles grew increasingly complex, but the team used their intellect and courage to solve each one. With each solution, the mechanism activated further, gradually altering the statue, revealing a hidden secret. Finally, after solving the last puzzle, the mechanism fully activated, and the statue's hand opened the concealed door. George pushed the door open, revealing a passage leading deeper. At the passage's end, Faint light hinted at a hidden treasure awaiting them. "It seems we're getting closer to the treasure," George said. "But the road ahead might be even more dangerous." Encouraging each other, the team strengthened their resolve and continued down the passage. Every step was filled with unknowns and challenges, but they knew that with teamwork, they would find the mysterious treasure and unveil the island's ancient secrets. Having traversed the swamp, crossed the stone bridge, and solved the cave's puzzle mechanisms, the expedition drew nearer to the treasure. Yet, unknown danger still lay ahead, awaiting their bravery and perseverance. After passing through the hidden door, the expedition team continued along a narrow passageway. The walls on either side of the passage were covered with ancient murals depicting a long-lost civilization. These murals illustrated the daily life, religious ceremonies, and reverence for treasure of the ancient people. George and Maria studied these murals carefully, trying to glean more information about the treasure. These murals tell the story of a powerful civilization that possessed endless wisdom and wealth, Maria said. "It seems we are getting closer to the heart of this civilization." The light at the end of the passage grew brighter and brighter until they finally arrived at a vast underground hall. In the center of the hall stood a massive pyramid-shaped structure, with its apex sparkling with a dazzling light, as if it were a gigantic gemstone. The air around them was filled with a mysterious and sacred aura. "This is the legendary treasure," George whispered, his eyes filled with excitement and awe. The team members cautiously approached the pyramid and found it surrounded by an array of treasures: gold, silver, jewels, ancient artifacts, and precious relics. Each item shimmered with an enchanting glow, as if telling them the story of the ancient civilization's glory. However, the pyramid was also guarded by complex mechanisms and traps. George realized that the ancient civilization had not only used these treasures, their wealth, but also to protect them from being easily stolen. To avoid triggering these traps, they needed to find a safe way to approach the treasure. "We can't act rashly," George reminded everyone. "We need to first uncover the secrets of these mechanisms." After careful observation and analysis, the team discovered that the runes and murals on the pyramid held clues to disarming the traps. Maria and Jack worked together once more, decoding the runes and gradually disarming the mechanisms around the pyramid. With each mechanism they unlocked, the pyramid's glow intensified. Finally, when they disarmed the last mechanism, a large gemstone at the top of the pyramid slowly opened, revealing an ancient book. The book's cover was inlaid with various gems, and the pages shimmered with a golden light. George carefully held the book, feeling the immense power it contained. "This is more than just a treasure," George said. "This is a book that records the wisdom of an ancient civilization, containing their knowledge, philosophy, and history." The team felt a profound sense of excitement and reverence. They understood that this book was not only a symbol of wealth, but also a legacy of wisdom. They decided to bring the book back to the modern world to share this precious knowledge with everyone. On their way back, the team passed through the previous passages and halls, once again experiencing the mysterious and sacred atmosphere. Despite the numerous dangers and challenges they had faced, their efforts and intelligence had finally paid off. As they emerged from the cave, the sunlight once again shone upon them. George looked at the ancient book in his hands, filled with emotion. He knew that they had not only found the treasure, but also uncovered the secret of a lost civilization, which would become a significant historical discovery. "This is just the beginning," George said to the team. "We have a lot of work to do to bring this knowledge back and share it with more people." The team, filled with confidence and hope, set off on their journey back with the treasure and the knowledge of the ancient civilization. They understood that this expedition had not only changed their lives, but would also have a profound impact on the entire world. The expedition team found the ultimate treasure and realized that it was not only wealth, but also a symbol of ancient wisdom. They were determined to bring this knowledge back to the modern world and share it with everyone, thus becoming the bearers of history. The expedition team, laden with precious ancient books and countless treasures, they crossed the jungle of the mysterious island, braved storms at sea, and finally returned to civilization. George and his team couldn't wait to share their discoveries and pass on this ancient knowledge. When they returned to the port city, the media and scholars who had already heard the news gathered at the dock. George and the team members recounted their adventures on the mysterious island, showcasing the precious artifacts and books they had brought back. The mayor held a welcoming ceremony for them, and the entire city was proud of their courage and wisdom. George and Maria decided to first take the ancient books back to the university's research institute, where experts conduct detailed interpretations and studies of these books. They held a grand press conference to announce their findings. This news shocked the entire academic community. The scholars from around the world flocked to see these precious books with their own eyes. This book records the wisdom and history of a long-lost civilization. George said at the press conference, "We hope that through the study of these books, we can gain a deeper understanding of human history and pass on this knowledge." In the following months, George and Maria, along with a team of historians, linguists, and archaeologists, worked tirelessly to decipher the ancient book. Each page revealed astonishing secrets, and the rich knowledge of ancient technology, philosophy, medicine, and art gradually unfolded before the world. This ancient wisdom was not only significant at the time but also has profound implications for the development of modern society. Maria explained, "We have learned a lot about the harmony between humans and nature, which is urgently needed in our modern society. To allow more people to access and learn this ancient knowledge, George and Maria decided to digitize the contents of the book and create an online knowledge repository. This repository was open not only to scholars but also to the general public, allowing anyone to access this precious knowledge through the internet. They also established a series of lectures and seminars, inviting experts and scholars to share their research findings, and organized educational activities in universities and communities to spread this ancient and valuable wisdom. After one of the lectures, George stood in the campus square, watching the sunset paint the sky red. His heart was full of emotion. "We have not only found the treasure, but also discovered the wisdom that leads to the future," George said to Maria. "These ancient teachings have taught us so much. They are the precious heritage of human civilization." Maria smiled and nodded. "Yes, it was all worth it. We will continue to work hard to pass on this wisdom." Over time, George and his team's efforts gained more recognition and support. The wisdom and the knowledge contained in the ancient book were continually disseminated and applied, bringing new insights and impetus to the development of modern society. The story of the expedition team not only became a legend in the academic world, but also left a deep impression in the hearts of ordinary people. Their courage and wisdom, as well as their selfless dedication to knowledge, inspired generations to explore the unknown and pursue the truth. In the end, George and his team achieved their dream. They not only unveiled the seekers of a lost civilization, but also brought invaluable knowledge and wisdom to modern society. Their story reminds us that true treasure is not just material wealth, but the wisdom, a spirit that can be passed down through generations. By returning to the modern world and sharing the wisdom of ancient civilizations, George and the expedition team became the bearers of history. Their efforts and discoveries not only changed their own lives, but also had a profound impact on the entire world.